all right, Harry, come and take your seat, you pedo. And he came and sat in the chair. And tell me, try and find another video on the internet where the 5-year-old, 6-year-old's being called a paedophile by a full-grown man. So you just won't see it. And I think that's what kind of got the ball rolling.
Yeah, but it might sound as a really stupid question. Was you born with Tourette's?
No, that's not a daft question either. I think there's some people that are, but no, I wasn't. I was 14 when I got Tourette's.
Okay, so it developed. Okay.
Almost overnight. I had a lot of people look at me funny in a wheelchair, and I had someone say to me, "Oh, you're quite a snazzy dresser for someone in a wheelchair." I'm like,
what does that even mean?
I'm like, what? The people in a wheelchair not a fashion?
No.
Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, really? So.
Yes, people, welcome back to Trimtalk. Today, I'm joined by Josh, the Tourettes Barber. I'm going to be doing the trimming. We'll be doing the talking.
Woo!
How are you, Josh?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, can't complain.
Good.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming down, mate. We was very excited to have you on today.
No, I'm glad.
What have you been up to then?
Not too much, mate. Obviously, working a lot, trying to get busier and busier. Obviously, tough time of year, innit, for us.
It is. January is a very dry time of year, innit?
It is.
But you're doing well. You've got 2 shops now, haven't you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I had the second one for about 18 months now, and the first one coming up to 6th year, actually. So,
yeah.
It's good. Yeah, we're doing all right.
Busy? Is it both shops busy, or is it one's?
My first one is really busy.
We've
built up a really good reputation. All my barbers are constantly busy. I'm in my other shop. Had a few complications with, I had a bit of a shitty last year, so I've had to move a few bits around, and I now work in my St Albans shop full time. And I've just picked up another barber as well. So
how many barbers do you have in the shop?
In my first one, I got 4 lads. Constant. They're just always busy. And then I've got myself in my other shop I've got the space for 4 barbers, but I want it to be a three-man shop.
3-man shop.
But I've just taken on like a junior who actually is local lad to the shop. He was originally a customer.
Oh, really?
Want to go and get trained. And do you know what? Like I said, I've been doing this about 5 and a bit years now, and I've had quite a few different members of staff that I now they don't work for me now. But it's just been a real fuck you and your mum. Fucking lost my trail of thought now. What were we talking about?
I just wanted to quickly say as well, with your tics, we're happy. You're happy for us to laugh, aren't you?
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. I mean, if you don't laugh, you cry. I mean, might as well.
In case you all think I'm out of order.
No. That's how I like it. I don't mind you laughing, mate. As long as it's laughing with and not at.
Yeah, there you go.
But
cool.
But yeah, mate. Like I've always found with staff, like taking on barbers, you can make people into really good barbers, right? But I can't make them good people.
No.
So that's what I try and find, people that are really good, like nice people, talkative, chatty, personable. I don't care how good they are as a barber yet, because I can make them good.
Yeah.
And also my other staff are really good at kind of bringing each other up and giving each other help and teaching each other and learning from each other.
100%.
So yeah, that lad hasn't even started yet, but he's he's hungry, he's young, he wants it.
That's a lot of what barbering's about, and it being a people's person and chatting away, and that's what can get you customers before you even are good at cutting hair.
100%. Like he came to visit, he wanted to come and chat with me about something, and I said, "Oh, just give me a minute, I'm just finishing up this kid I was cutting," and he just sat there chatting to the mum. I was like, he doesn't even realise that he's like sold himself.
Yeah.
Bit of a MILF. She was actually. Not that matters, but yeah, it does help. So I was going to do like an advert for MILFs then. Any MILFs, come on down. Just joking.
I don't know what hair I'd cut, but we'll go.
Yeah, no, just pubes. No.
I wanted to say about your obviously in the last year you said you struggled with obviously you weren't in the shop, and you said that you struggled with your walking. Did you lose the ability to walk?
Yeah, I'll keep it relatively brief because it's quite a fucking boring story otherwise, but yeah, obviously my brain ain't quite wired up right, basically. That's how I tell everyone's story. I've got a few, like obviously I've got Tourette's syndrome, which obviously affects my movements and my words. So basically the same part of the brain, for some reason, stopped sending signals to my legs to work. So one day, it was on a Monday when we were all, obviously the barbers are shut. I was just doing a bit of can't even remember what I was doing. I was out the back of the shop. No, sorry, tell a lie. I was working at one of my shops, and regular customer that I always have also got Tourette's, ironically, and so I'm really comfortable. And I just noticed that my leg was starting to go, not numb, but I was like losing strength. And within 10 minutes, I couldn't use that leg anymore. So
Really?
managed to finish the haircut. I honestly don't know how. I have one of those, I have like a tool chest for my tools and stuff. And I had to, it's like a trolley. So I had to bring that around and just kind of hold myself up on it while I was like finishing the haircut. And then I told one of my other lads in the shop, I just went, you're going to have to cancel the rest of my day because I'm going to have to go and try and sleep this off. Be like, if
Yeah.
my Tourette's got really severe, I would tend to like, okay, if I feel unsafe or anything, which doesn't happen often, but if I just felt like I can't do it, I'll have to go home and I'd have a really good rest, sleep, and then hopefully I feel better the next day, which is exactly what I did with my left leg. And then it just didn't come back. And then I had to adapt to just like basically dragging my leg around for
Really?
ages. Obviously, I went to hospital and stuff,
So
and
it didn't affect both. It was just the one
just the one at first.
at
And
first,
then,
right? Okay.
yeah, and then it was 6 or 8 weeks later. I was at the other shop. This was what I meant. I was out back just sorting out some paperwork, and my other leg went, and I just collapsed out back. And I was so upset because I was like in panic. You
Yeah.
know, I couldn't couldn't wank. Luckily, that didn't it didn't cause a problem. But I couldn't get up, so I was laying on the floor, and it was I can't remember exactly what month this was, but it was hot, and because I was only popping into the shop again, one leg weren't working, but I had to like borrow my old man's car because I could still drive, but I could only drive an automatic.
Right.
I couldn't
Okay.
use my left leg for the clutch, right?
Clutch. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, at least I can still get about, and then I was using a bit of a wheelchair sometimes because I feel like I was doing damage to my left. Well, I was doing so much damage because my legs weren't working. Anyway,
Yeah.
so then yeah, I collapsed at the
You're
back of the shop,
overcompensating on one leg,
and
aren't
it's so easily so quick that can happen.
you? Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, so I was in the shop, I collapsed. I gave it like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, just praying. I was like, please, like, just like, come on, let's get going. And then I didn't even want to ring my missus because I knew she'd be so upset, and not like upset with me, but it would just be, I couldn't tell her. So I remember I called my old man. I just went. I needed to like get it off my chest before I went and spoke to her. Like,
Yeah.
she's my number one. She's
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
person, but I was so upset to like call her.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then no one was really around, so I told my missus and that, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to call your mum because she's the closest person. Like, I can't get off the floor. But then luckily, she turned up, and my mother-in-law is like a. I've never seen her really cry or anything, but I saw her face, and that's when I realised how severe it was because she was struggling to hold back her
Yeah.
emotion. But luckily, she brought her son, my brother-in-law, who's like big strapping 23-year-old, and he might as well just chuck me over his shoulder and took me out of the shop because but she wouldn't have been able to pick me up because the thing is,
Yeah.
uh, if you've just like hurt yourself and you can still use your muscles to get yourself up, you're still kind of there. But I just I was like a dead weight because I just couldn't engage my legs
Just
to
lost
work
strength completely.
completely. And then we like took me home, and then we decided like I'm gonna have to go to A&E the next day, and we're gonna have to try and get this sorted. Went up to a hospital in Cambridge because we knew that was the best place for neurology, and I was in there for a month, just
Really.
having
A
to get
month.
like neuro physio, trying to learn to walk again. Had loads of tests, got diagnosed with fuck you and your mum, with a condition called FND, functional neurological disorder. Um, yeah, and obviously the doctors and the team and the nurses were great there. But just obviously, I don't know if anyone's ever spent a long time in hospital. It's not the nicest
No.
place to be. But I felt so lucky because I had a wheelchair already. The hospital had a fucking Burger King in it.
Touch.
Mental.
Touch.
Which for the first
Keep me
week
here longer.
I rinsed it, and then you start to realise like I'm not getting much sunlight. I'm not doing any exercise. I'm eating
Yeah.
burgers all the fucking time, and I just felt it was actually making me feel worse.
I was going to
So
say it probably
first week,
affects you mentally as well massively.
100%. And obviously, people coming to see me and all that was
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it just started to get to the point. I actually said. I had like one Sunday where like all my friends came over and they brought their kids and that was all lovely. But then actually I realised I was like putting on a bit of facade as if I'm all right. But then I was like, actually, I can't have any more visitors like that. Just to keep it to my missus and my mum and dad and my sisters and that.
Mm.
And I was like, I'll see everyone when I'm out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll just get. It was like I lived there.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
felt like. Even though it wasn't that long, but it was a fair long. But
It is a long time. A month is a very long time. Don't realise really.
it just flies by. Like but then Joe, it was weird. So I then got better. I was getting better where I could like. I mean, even I couldn't even like get up. But I had to like move my legs like that. Even putting shoes on was just like everything was so much hard work. I'd lost a lot of muscle in my legs. I felt I was getting fatter. It was just, I think the mental side really started to take over. And then, yeah, I kind of got out of the hospital and I knew I wasn't going to go back to work straight away, but I wanted to like get my face in there and all that. But it
Yeah.
was, everything was such a faff. As I'm 31 now, but at the time I was 30 and I'm an independent lad. And I'm having to like, even getting into my own shop, I'm having to have like two people kind of help me.
Yeah.
It just, and spending time in a wheelchair, fuck you. Lovely. Um, it made me see the world from a different point of view because, you know, being in a wheelchair and that, at the age I am, not even taking the piss, but I had a lot of people look at me funny in a wheelchair, and I had someone say to me, "Oh, you're quite a snazzy dresser for someone in a wheelchair." I'm like,
What does that even mean?
what? The people in a wheelchair not a fashion?
No.
Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, really? So yeah, it
That
was.
one went past you, didn't it? You didn't quite get that one.
Sorry, I don't want to apologise and not keep up. Do you know what I mean? But no, so it just. But what I take away from that whole experience is obviously how strong you actually are mentally and physically, but then also, yeah, like I said, the perspective of living in a wheelchair, even for a short amount of time. I'm not saying that, oh, poor me. I'm really not,
No.
because there's some people that have no choice, and that is how they have to live.
Yeah.
But it's made me see it differently now, and not that I ever really did mistreat anyone, but actually I'll always make the effort to talk to someone, not just because they're in a wheelchair, but actually just to give acknowledgement, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of them felt like I either got anyone over like 55 was giving me a sympathy smile. Anyone under 30 couldn't even fucking look at me. And in that in between 30 to kind of 55, it was a little bit like they wanted to see what was going on, and they'd want to look at you, but they wouldn't want to actually engage with you. Do you know what I mean? So it was either like completely being ignored, or
Being nosy.
being nosy, or being completely like giving me sympathy. And I don't
Yeah.
fucking need your sympathy, sweetheart. Do you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to crack on and just go and grab me coffee and walk my dog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was the normal things I wanted to try and do each day because I
Yeah.
wasn't at work.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, I think the mental effect it took its toll. But
Mm.
and then when it came to work, I in my St Albans shop, I had two lads working in there, really good lads, and I'm not here to slag them off. That's not the situation. But unfortunately, when I was off, I think it's a learning curve for me. I think I neglected them a little bit, where obviously I was dealing with my situation, and one got offered a job a lot closer to his home because he lives a good bit further away, and I was happy for him that he got that, and then the other one also got another opportunity elsewhere. So then I basically got to the point where I was like, "Fuck! I shot my shop,
Yeah.
shut my shop, shoot my shop, shoot my load." Um, so it's really distracting. It's a big black dick, chode. Yeah, so basically I had to shut the shop for a bit, and that was really difficult because I thought,
Yeah.
fuck, we're going to be hemorrhaging money now. I kind of invested a lot of time in these lads, and it is what it is. I really do wish them well, but at the time I felt so fucked off. Like I got a text from the second lad that left, and I'll be brutally honest with you, like, I was like, I couldn't even speak. I just went to the fridge and I got a bottle of beer out. I got my vape out. I got a cigarette out and I rolled a joint, and I just put them all out on my garden table, and I just sat there, went to my missus. I went, just leave me for a couple of hours. I just need to like decompress now.
Mm.
And that didn't help, but it just I needed to think about what I was doing. So that really spurred me on to then want to get better. Obviously, I always wanted to get better, but I think it was just that real jolt of like, fuck you. If I didn't get better, this shop was gonna,
Completely go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and I got the coffee shop attached to that, which was what was keeping the rent paid and that. So I'm so grateful, but for that. But yeah, so it was just a really fucked up year, and
Yeah.
yeah, just worked really hard to get better and better. And it was actually a friend's wedding in France where I was quite a big part of it. I was like one of the groomsmen, and my missus was a maid of honor, and I was also MC of the wedding. And I was like, I'm not going to use my chair this weekend. I was like, I've got to keep pushing myself, even if I'm a bit slower, and that I'm just going to do it. And then from there, that point on, I used the chair less and less, and it's actually in my in-laws' attic now.
Oh,
I couldn't
really?
have it in the house. So
So you don't use it no more.
I
You're
don't
good.
use it no more. I'm walking a lot better.
Good.
I actually played paddle a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Kind of a very slow, I didn't have to do
To
much
start.
moving, but yeah, it was
No.
something. Yeah, so yeah, they're much better physically now.
Good. When you had that point where them boys left the shop and obviously you
Mm,
had to shut it, when you hit that point, how much of a motivation? Obviously, at first it was horrible, probably,
mm.
but when you sat there and thought, right, I'm gonna make it work. How motivational was it to for you to then crack on and get to the point where you are at now?
I think it's about being realistic about what I could do.
Mm.
So I had to get like a stool, like what a dentist uses. They kind of
Right.
spin around on a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
chair.
yeah,
I
yeah,
had to
yeah.
get one of them,
A
right?
lot of barbers do use that.
They do, and I think hairdressers especially as
Hairdressers
well.
because
It's
they're
quite a
up for a
thing
longer
when they
time.
cut. I always imagine when they're cutting it really low,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
rip it
yeah.
off the bottom.
On their knees.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, good girl. Um,
I thought I might tee one up there. I thought
you know what you were doing?
No, I thought as I said it, I thought I might have teed one up there.
No, that's all right. That's a good one, to be fair. Good girl. God, I feel like I'm talking to the dog. Sit down. The dog, I mean my actual dog, not my missus. What was the question?
When you hit that point,
Mm.
I said how motivational was it to get back
Right.
to this point? But then you did start saying something, and
Yeah, so
you got off track. Oh, that was it.
So for me, it was
Yeah, that's
exactly.
it. Right, there we go.
So I was like, right, I can't go back to 6 days a week straight away. So
No.
I did. I reduced my hours, and I did kind of like 2 days, and I'm back up to like full days, but I'm only doing 3 now. And then I'm gonna introduce 4. It's funny, the other day a mate called me and he was like, "What are you up to today?" I was like, "I'm just doing a bit of admin, doing a bit of running around." He's like, "You're not at work?" And I was like, "No, no, no, not yet." And he was like, "Oh, come, mate, it's probably time to go back to work." And I was like, "Yeah, I completely agree with you." But I said I've been in this sort of situation before, like even with like my Tourette's when that got a bit worse at times over the years. I've done it where I've like gone back a little bit prematurely, and then it's kind of shot me in the foot. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now let's get all the bookings back in, tell everyone I'm back, and then it's like, oh shit, and I've had another setback, and then you got to like
Do
let
it
it all
all
down
again.
again.
Yeah.
But this is why this time around I've been a little bit more a bit more hesitant and trying to be a little bit more future proofing a little bit rather than just acting like I can do it all again. Because I think when you're young, you think you can just, oh fuck it, it'll be fine, I'll crack on. But actually, sometimes you've got to be realistic, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Just take it a little bit easier.
Yeah, you don't want to go back in and then obviously, as you say, then something happens and it's a major
Exactly.
setback, and then you've got to do it all again. You
I'm
want to
just
slowly.
rebuilding.
It's like a footballer, isn't it? Like you don't want to come
Yeah.
back to playing like once
Yeah.
you've been injured. You want to slowly
Yeah.
work it back in.
Well, but yeah, literally, that's probably.
But going on to your work, like with the ticks, what made you want to go into barbering? Did you? So this
Yeah.
might sound as a really stupid question.
Mm.
Was you born with Tourette's? Or
No, that's not a daft question either. I think there's some people that are, but no, I wasn't. I was 14 when I got Tourette's.
Okay, so it developed. Okay,
Almost overnight.
really?
Yeah. Again, I'll keep this brief because it's a bit of a weird story. I was on a ski trip in my school when I was 14, and second to last day, I had a very minor fall. Like I fell over, got back up, cracked on, but basically I think I'd hit my head, not realised. And then the next day, which was our last day of skiing, I was on the ski lift coming up, in like the enclosed one, not like 2. There was like 5 of us in there, and I just started getting this really severe pain in my back where I couldn't like control my movement, and I was like, it was like I was convulsing completely from my back.
Right.
I can laugh about it now, but all the kids shit themselves, and it was like probably a 5 to 7 minute lift journey. And this is probably about 2 minutes in, so this is happening, and they are shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Some of the kids were like, "Oh my god!" One girl even went like that at one point. To be fair, I wish there was a fucking camera in the corner because I completely understand why. And then, from what I remember, this might be just made up legend, but like all my friends that were in this pod, they said there was one girl who was a little bit of an outcast within school. God bless her. I won't say her name. I actually can't remember what her name is. She apparently was so calm and just smiling while it was all happening. So there's so many kids that are like, this is like traumatic for them to watch this happening to me. Apparently one girl's just in the corner like just watching it all happen. Anyway, so that happened. I was very confused. I was quite scared because I didn't know what the fuck
Of
was
course,
going
yeah,
on.
you'd be absolutely shitting
It was wild.
Yeah.
I was so basically I went from being normal
Yeah.
to just being completely out of control. Didn't ski that last day. I got to spend the day with the teachers, which was a bundle of laughs. But
Yeah.
you know when you see like behind the curtain, like they were being normal.
Yeah.
Scared me even more because I was like, they know something's up.
Yeah.
Because they're being nice to me.
Yeah.
And then we actually got a coach there, so I then from that moment that kind of happened, I couldn't stop moving my arms. Do you remember like Will from In Betweeners when he does a bit of drugs for the first time?
Yeah.
That was literally happening to me. Like I was getting bruised arms really quickly because I couldn't control it. My neck was going back. So then I had to be strapped to the back of the coach, using like 5 seatbelts because I just couldn't. I had to be like strapped down. I reckon I passed out. I reckon I was only awake for three out of the 23 hours in
Really?
coach journey because I was just exhausted.
Yeah, of
And then I
course.
was like never the same after that.
Right, okay.
I came home and it was really weird to like adapt
Yeah, yeah,
telling
yeah.
people. And then I was fortunate my parents at the time my dad had private healthcare, so when it got tested I got diagnosed quite quickly because it was so severe.
Mm.
But like, I couldn't sit in the front of a car because I'd probably smack my mum in the face. I couldn't use cutlery at that time.
Cool,
I
shit.
was so
It's all these little
physically.
things you don't even think about,
You
really.
wouldn't. You
No.
wouldn't. Like I couldn't pour a cup of tea because of the hot water. Like there was so
Yeah,
many
yeah, yeah.
aspects. I was like,
Habits.
I had to be like bubble wrapped. Like it
Yeah,
was. I missed a lot of school. I didn't get no GCSEs.
really.
I probably wasn't destined to get many. I'll be honest. I'm dyslexic as well, so like I wasn't
That's the
destined
same
for
for
A's.
all of us barbers.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
No one's good. We ain't
yeah.
got one GCSE between us.
No, who gives a fuck though? Who gives a fuck? But yeah, so that just impacted it straight away, and yeah, so that was my story about getting Tourette's. But yeah, I went through school and all that, did all that, went to college. So, and it wasn't until I was like 20 that I thought about being a barber.
Okay. So I was going to
Um,
say, like, having Tourette's, that's what I was going to lead on to. Having
mm,
Tourette's already before you become a barber,
mm,
it's quite almost like a risky job to
yeah,
do
definitely.
with like, in case you
Yeah,
mess a
exactly.
haircut or whatever. But what made you want to get into barbering?
Well, one of my best mates, Callum, he was a barber, and at the time I worked for my family. We did it was so random. Like we used to do. My mum was a gardener. My dad did landscaping in cabins, and I bought and sold architectural salvage. So anything from like chimney pots to old bricks to post boxes to shit like that.
Okay.
So we had like one big site actually about 400 yards down the road from where my first barber shop is now, and we all worked together. But then it just really dawned on me that like my parents had helped set me up like this because I really think they thought I wasn't going to be able to get a normal job.
Mm.
And that's not a slight on them. I completely get it. If your kid had an issue, you'd want to try and make them not feel weird. You'd want to hire them, make sure that they have a job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But once I kind of cottoned onto that, I couldn't let it go. So I told my old man, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna try and do my own thing, and not for myself. I was like, I'm gonna try and find another job. He was like, oh yeah, good luck with that. It wasn't being patronising, but he was like, yeah, good luck, or I'll pay you for 2 weeks and then you're done. I was like, all right, cool. Because I'm chatty as fuck, I knew I could go and find something, hopefully. So I went and became an estate agent, literally, again, down the road. I got it that afternoon,
Yeah.
the job. And I just like the thought of wearing a suit. That
Yeah.
was basically it. And I quite like property and that. So did that. No offense to anyone if you know anyone who's a estate agent, but I'm not a cunt, so I couldn't do it for that long. I did it for about 6 months, and then did it for 6 months. But I'd saved up the money to help out with the course and that. So then, yeah, I applied to go to a college course up in London, like an intensive 3 months one.
Mm.
And yeah, then I got a job straight out
Where was that
after.
at?
That was at Total Barber in Shoreditch.
I've heard them.
It's a great college. They've actually just moved location, but
Mm.
it's a really good college. Like
Mm.
a lot of my team have come through there, and yeah, we've got quite a good connection with them as well. So
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
mm,
So you done your course,
mm.
and then did you go and work for someone in the shop?
Yeah, I did well straight away. I was kind of recommended. I was recommended to someone out of my course because again, another barbershop used to reach out to the
Yeah,
college
yeah, 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 yeah.
because I wasn't that far. So I got a job in St Albans, and quite like an everyday barbershop, but kind of an old school feel. And he trained me up. I was very confident, but I was really willing to learn, and I was very good with people. Like
Yeah,
that wasn't the worry for me. It was just getting better at cutting hair. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think everyone knows what it's like that first year of cutting hair when you think you're the best. You go from here to down here, back
Yeah,
to up here to down
changes.
here,
Yeah,
and you're waxing and waning, but you do have to push through. And I think a lot of people quit before they get good,
yeah, 100%.
which is such a shame. But you do have to fuck you. You do have to persist for a bit, you know.
Yeah. No, you do massively.
Yeah, and I loved working there. I worked my way up, and within about 4 years, I was helping unofficially, like managing the shop. Um, and that's when I started to find my rhythm with like fuck with how I wanted to work. And also at this time, so just to paint the picture, so like, going back to my Tourette's wasn't as physical anymore. So
Okay.
that's how I knew I was
So
gonna,
that's
not,
what
I
I was
knew I
gonna.
was going to be okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Obviously, with with that, did it ever affect your haircuts at all?
no, no, I've never. I mean, lads, we've all fucked up haircuts before.
Yeah.
Especially in the learning process.
Yeah.
No, it's actually, I absolutely don't mind the question at all, but it is my most asked question.
Yeah, cool.
Have you ever messed anyone's hair up?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I absolutely don't mind it. I actually find it funny because it's just like, well, if I did, would I be doing? Would I?
Yeah.
Would I be this successful? I'm not tooting my own trumpet, but
No,
like,
but
would
would
I?
you be a barber at all
No,
if
not
you?
really.
Yeah.
But
No, but if I was to say it in another way, then like almost with the vocal side of it, have you ever had any customers that have been offended, or you had a bad encounter with them because of something you said or anything?
yeah, definitely. Nothing too severe. Nothing. There's no like little.
Yeah,
There's
no, that's
nothing
good.
that's like wild. I've had it a couple of times where I think like a parent or people don't know that I've got Tourette's.
Right.
Either so, it's a lot easier to tell someone I've got Tourette's and then something happens rather than something happens and then tell them.
Do you have to warn people a lot? I bet that gets draining.
I think I do just because it's just in my. I just naturally do now. But
Yeah.
for example, I remember like this is in my own shop actually, probably a couple of years into my first shop, and I knew this mum, and I don't think my Tourette's had been that bad for a little while. And then I remember like saying, "Oh, by the way, darling, you know I've got Tourette's. I'm probably going to swear in front of your child." By the way, she was like, "Oh yeah, of course you have." I was like, "No, I'm being deadly serious." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, just crack on." I'm like, "No, I'm being 100% clear with you now.
I'm being fucking serious.
I'm probably gonna call your kid a cunt in a minute, and I don't want you to be insulted." And then it was only until one of my other barbers actually went, "No, he's not." Oh, I wasn't messing. Like I think you could tell, but I just don't think she thought I was being serious.
Yeah.
It was only until someone else said it, and then I did say something. I did swear quite loudly, and I think she was a bit
shocked. Yeah.
Wasn't an issue, but
no, it's just...
I think there is. I think there is people I've lost like customer wise.
Yeah.
No one that actually comes to mind, but yeah. But when I was worked in my first shop I worked in, I'd worked there for like I said about 4 years. My Tourette's for that last year was getting quite bad, so I'd sometimes have to take like a week off, 2 weeks off, maybe a month at times because that was just how we thought was best to deal with it. I started getting to the point I was like, I can't take this time off. Like, it's not doing anything good for my mental health. And like, I started to realise I was like, I'm actually not as physically twitchy as I was when I was a lot younger. So I'm like, it's just fucking words at this point. So I was like, well, I'll just crack on. Like, I'll cut hair with my ticks. And again, I'm not slagging off my old boss, but he was quite concerned about how that would be with like the kids and stuff and our reputation. So I was like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but I need to get back to work. And it cut long story short, my hours got cut down a bit because someone else needed to kind of help run the shop. And basically, he wasn't pushing me out, but he was like, Josh, I can't have you in when you're this twitchy. And I was like, well, I understand you've got to protect your business, but this is like my livelihood as well. And then COVID kicked in and I got put on part-time furlough, which was fuck all. And I remember saying to him, like, can you just put me back on full-time? And then we came back after that first sort of lockdown and I said, you know what, lads, I've made a decision. I'm leaving now and doing my own thing. And I don't think my boss was shocked, but I was like, well, you do realise it's because of you that I'm having to leave because I was happy to be here, but but at the same time, I was angry at the time. I felt really let down by it, but and now, you know, because he might see this, I don't know. I'm not going to name him, but I've got no qualms with him now. When I opened up my St Albans shop, I invited him, and we're all good. But I think even he knew it was probably a wrong decision at the time. Especially
find that, like, obviously with him saying that he didn't want you to have, like, he didn't want you in when you was as twitchy as that.
Yeah.
That it was almost harder to go back.
Oh yeah.
And you was watching that you aren't.
Yeah, definitely, because I was at the point where it was like, yeah, then I was conscious of it.
Yeah.
But you know what was really weird? I worked with a lad who also had a twitch. Like he had a tick.
Right.
And yeah, Joe, it's so mad because my Tourette's sometimes, especially back then, about 10 years ago, my Tourette's laid quite dormant at times. So anywhere I worked, I always told people, and they were like, "Oh no, it's no problem, no problem." But then when it became a problem, it was a problem.
Yeah.
That's what fucked me off. But yeah, I worked with another guy who he used to like bang his scissors and comb together a lot. Like, just before he's doing a bit of scissors over comb, he'd go.
Yeah.
Then he would do it.
Yeah.
I remember I had someone in my chair who'd had a haircut with him before, and they were like, I was like, "Oh mate, don't you usually go with Chris?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't go to him anymore because I'm really worried. Have you seen he gets a bit twitchy? Like, I don't trust anyone that's like that." I mean,
he's fucked up there.
And I was like, "Oh, you cunt." I said, "I was like, oh,
but he's like doing it on purpose."
But I was like, "You've sat in the wrong chair." And honestly, I really thought about like giving him a ball patch or something. I really did, just to teach him a lesson. But I thought, no, do you know what? No, I can't be doing that. I just educated him. I was like, actually, I don't think that's the right attitude to take.
Yeah.
I always try and take the high road of shit like that, because I think if you stoop to their level, what's the point? It's it really is pointless. But yeah, so I don't have any qualms or problems with like the way that situation went. If anything, I think it's part of my story now, and it's what got me to where I am.
100%. And the point of losing customers, where this has taken you on social media, you've probably gained double, if not treble, or 10 times the amount of customers because of it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think at first when that happened, basically, like even with the actually putting myself out there, right? I'd opened my own shop, been doing quite well, slowly building, whatever. Then it got to a point where we were quite busy. Then my Tourette's got a bit more severe again. And obviously, I was my own boss at that point, so I wasn't going to send myself home unless I felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
I'm obviously exhausted now. It only gets worse when I'm tired. Oh, that's bright. Yeah, so it just got to the point where I was like, so when I twitch sometimes, I lose my trail of thought.
That's right.
Man.
You're your own boss.
I was my own boss, so I didn't have to conform to what anyone else wanted me to do, basically. And it was actually my missus who works in social media marketing, right? Which is always handy to know someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
She went, Josh, why don't you film yourself when you're struggling?
She any good at it? I'm looking for one.
Oh, she's got no time, mate. She's got no time. She's too busy with my shit. Fuck.
Goes down, let's press stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, to the chest, innit?
Yeah, that's all right. That's perfect.
And then, yeah, she actually said to me, like, Josh, why don't you like film yourself? And not for any more reason, actually, just showcasing that this is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. And I filmed with a couple of people that I was really close with at the time, just customers in the shop. Not even, they were mates of mine, but like they weren't mates before I started cutting their hair.
Yeah.
They did quite well, got a couple of 100,000 views, which was mental on TikTok. And then I filmed with a little kid called Harry.
I've seen these. I was going to mention Harry.
I mean,
you still got Harry's hair?
I only saw Harry yesterday. He's
okay.
Top lad. He's like 10 now. Has it been that long? Yeah, it has. Yeah, he's like 10.
So how old was he when you first done it with him?
Late 6.
Yeah, 6.
7. Oh, fuck me. Honestly, how annoying is that whole fucking thing? 6, 7. 6. 6, 7.
I wonder if that'll still be relevant by the time this comes out.
Well, we've got to get out so straight
away. Or just cut it out.
Yeah, just fuck 6, 7 bullshit. But so I cut Harry's hair, and then he is actually like, he's got 3 brothers, but his next brother is like now about 18. So quite a big gap, right? Yeah, it was a mistake. No, happy accident is what they call it. God bless him. He's a really lovely lad. But we just had this connection, and I remember just saying to his dad, like, do you mind if I film Harry in the chair? And they were like, yeah, go for it. And it just fucking blew up.
Yeah.
It just blew up. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what to expect.
Is that your most viewed video?
No.
Because, but it's probably the most.
It was for a while, though.
Yeah. Is it the most like remembered and talk about?
I think people think my name's Harry.
Yeah.
Because they know this kid's.
Yeah.
And he's a really lovely lad, and he just gets it. And I think especially that first video, he wasn't conscious of the camera.
No.
So he was just being a kid.
Much better, isn't it?
100%. Fuck. He was just being a kid, and I think it wasn't intentional the way we edited it, but I think I made a comment. And I went, all right, Harry, come and take your seat, you pedo. And he came and sat in the chair. And try and find another video on the internet where the 5-year-old, 6-year-old's being called a paedophile by a full-grown man. So you just won't see it. And I think that's what kind of got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
But then I think it was also that people hadn't seen anyone with Tourette's that cuts hair with sharp scissors and that. Like,
yeah.
And I did get a little bit of backlash at the start. But, and I never got like because a lot of people online that have Tourette's get accused of like faking it or whatever. But I think because I'm so in the public eye, and I don't mean because of the views. I mean, as in, I'm in a public place all the time.
Yeah.
But like I'm filming in my bedroom with like the fucking blinds closed and that.
Yeah.
I've got Tourette's. Like this is like, I'm known for having Tourette's.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I've got to thank my missus basically. She was the one who just said, why don't you just film it? Like iPhone, tripod.
Yeah.
Didn't even have mics first time.
No.
Like,
that's how it starts, and it's just off the cuff and then
just organic.
And then it works. And then you start then building it to then.
Well, because even when we posted it, I didn't even have a profile. It was my shop profile.
Oh, really?
H&Co. We just had it as like that. And then it started to get traction. I started to like, remember Lad Barber posted something, reposted that video of me and Harry. And then we actually had to start turning our phones off. They were just going mad. And it was cool. It was such a good experience to kind of be a part of it. And it just went from there, really.
Because that video, like everyone this week that I've been speaking to and that's been saying like what you're up to, blah blah blah, said that I've got you on Sunday.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, the geezer who cuts that little Harry's hair.
Right.
And it's like that video is just so like remembered.
It's mental. It is mental. I think my most known video now. And again, I'm not obsessed with views, but I mean, I think we all know creating content.
Yeah,
we all look at it, and you can act like you don't care, but we all want the numbers to be good.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I just actually I've left my phone in there, but fuck. Yeah, my most viewed video now is me and a lad called Finn, who's also got Tourette's, and he's about
the blonde
11.
lad.
He's darker hair.
Is he darker hair?
Oh no, that's another kid called Aiden. Yeah,
Okay.
so I cut his hair first, but unfortunately, what seems to happen is, and this is no slight on any of these kids, it's got so much exposure that actually it's quite overwhelming.
Right.
So Kieran would never be filmed again because he got quite a lot of backlash at school.
Oh really?
And just a lot of attention from it.
Did you end up having to delete videos and stuff?
We didn't, because I didn't think that would help any situation.
No.
But I think at the time, when we were filming, we didn't know what was going to happen.
No,
like, we didn't know.
Never do you?
And obviously now, like if I do film with a young kid who has also got Tourette's or something, I do a little intro saying like,
yeah,
hey guys. So that I do that now. If I do that, but that we didn't then. I didn't think we needed to. I thought it was very clear what was going on.
It should be.
Yeah, my account is called the Tourette's Barber. Like obviously, this kid's obviously got Tourette's, but just we could see it going around the world, and we could see that just people weren't actually taking any sort of understanding of what they were watching. They were just seeing this kid say stuff. Yeah, and so that was a bit uncomfortable, and I think like they had a bit of backlash online, and I think maybe him and his family maybe didn't quite play it right. I think they were trying to control the narrative by like commenting back on certain.
You've got to just blank
and
it.
I told him, I was like, do whatever you want, but fuck, you're making it worse. You're basically throwing fuel on the fire. You're like,
yeah.
You're getting so I'm Kieran's mum's friend. You can't talk to him about that. I'm like, you're literally arguing with a wall.
You're giving them ammo.
Yeah. So anyway, but I wish him well, and I still see him every so often. He travelled quite a long way to come see me, that Kieran. But I think the most viral video I've done is with Finn, who I call him Finn Laindon because he keeps talking about bombs, and then it just goes from there. And I think one of the funny twitches in that is like, how's your nan? She's dead. Oh, so is mine, or something. We're just like sitting there talking about dead nans.
Yeah.
And he's 11. But that on TikTok now is like 40 million views.
That's mental.
4 million likes. Mental.
Because so for someone like that lad, he's only 11. Do you think Tourette's makes kids with Tourette's grow up a lot quicker because they're saying these things, or do you think they start getting these tics and saying certain words and whatever when they get older?
I think it's a good question, actually. I haven't really thought about it like that. I think it can go one of two ways. I think either you do grow up quicker, or actually I think you become a bit more subdued, and maybe don't actually use your own voice as much.
Right, okay.
So, for example, like that Finn, he won't mind me talking about it. His mum's lovely. I get on really well with her as well. He's actually naturally a really quiet lad. Like he's like, if anything, borderline. Like he's not mute, but he's just very, very shy, and he's a teenager. Like he's moody, right? But then his Tourette's is like a whole different thing. Like he says fuck. He says like racial slurs all the time. He says words that you wouldn't expect someone of his age to know.
Yeah.
But then it's not like. But then again, we all remember being like 10 or 11. We knew loads of shit that we didn't say.
No, yeah.
But it wasn't like our mums and dads would know that we knew what
it was. Yeah.
Licking out meant, or fucking. Do you know what I mean? Or like wank. We knew what that was, but we just didn't say it.
Yeah.
So I think it's naive to think like, oh, how do they know those words? And it's like, well, you didn't pick up on it. Now even more so.
Think about it, do you? Really?
Obviously, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but like we. Obviously, I've always had Google, but like we didn't have social media.
We
like
have
we
the
did
internet.
Now that's all they know.
That's all they see. Yeah, no, I think about that all the time with social media. I've got a younger sibling, and anyone that is on social media, they're all on it at such a young age. And you think, I'll scroll onto TikTok and I'll see like borderline porn videos.
Yeah. And
you think like this is on there for like kids.
Well, they can't restrict. They can't protect it enough.
No.
Do you know what I mean? No, it is crazy, and I do worry about it. And I think actually, I don't think a lot of people realise that when they're putting themselves out there, whether it's just, for example, let's say a couple of young girls doing a silly video, or a trending video or something, for example, I don't think they know, nor their parents or anything, know the effect actually of who could watch that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whether you, as a parent, think you're being protective or monitoring it, I don't think a lot of parents understand it all.
No.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that I definitely advocate for it, but I do think we should consider making under 16 shouldn't have social
Yeah,
media.
that's a big thing at the minute, is it?
Australia's
Australia,
doing it,
yeah. Is it USA? They were looking at doing it, weren't they? Or did they do it for like 24 hours? No, they got rid of TikTok for 24 hours, didn't they?
I think America's the least of their fucking worries.
Yeah, yeah. Bit mental.
I love the States, but it's a fucked up place. But,
Yeah. Should we crack on with your Barnet?
let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Cool, right. We've got Josh in the chair. You've got a question for me now, haven't you,
I have.
Josh?
This is a much needed haircut. But my question was going to be, what is your most typical haircut you do day to day?
To be fair, with my content, it's very, very obvious. The video that blew up for me originally was the Essex video. So I went to work one day just with the idea of just filming a few haircuts, whatever,
Right.
and filmed a few, and looked back at the end of the day, and it was all just the typical like my haircut Essex sweepback. So I was like, oh, there's a pattern in there somewhere. Like I was like, that's a good video idea. Put a house tune over it.
Yeah.
Captioned it POV, you live in Essex.
Bro, I've seen it and I saw it when it came out, and it's funny because I knew that was what you were going to say when I asked the question.
Yeah.
Because I think it is so, not just because you're in Essex, but obviously that style is getting popular, and I think the skin fades are starting to die down a little bit.
Oh, massively.
But, which I'm not mad about.
No, not
and
at
I
all.
think actually sometimes a little taper is a bit more, not to say skin fades are immature, but it's a bit more of a mature look than a skin fade maybe.
100%.
Even though it maybe grows out a little quicker, but it just looks a lot tidier.
Yeah, but it holds the shape more, doesn't it? This is like obviously a bit boring barber talk, but you ain't gonna quite get it. But yeah, no, it's definitely the sweepback for me. But it done me so well because obviously being in Essex, I was the first one to sort of post about it, and it just blew up. And then I had people just travelling from all over, thinking obviously like, oh, he's done it, so
that's mad,
I'll come and get it. And obviously, literally 90% of people in Essex have the same trim, so it's like it was perfect for me. Like literally,
well, it's
by
Essex trim,
accident
and it's
as
been
well.
around for a while. Like I think, I'm sorry, even like like Dan Edgar and all that.
Yeah.
So I know him because he's part of the same agency
Okay.
that I'm with, and he's obviously been rocking that look for quite a while.
Yeah.
But not all of us are blessed with that kind of hairstyle.
No.
His hair.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I don't know if it cracks you up when you get people coming to
I was
your
about
shop.
to say he's a reference point.
I bet he is
a lot of the time.
right?
Yeah.
But I get people show me a picture, and I'm like, oh, no matter what haircut it is. I'm not saying Dan especially, but I also cut Dan's dad's hair as well, which is quite funny.
Okay.
What was my train of thought? Oh yeah, but
you get people coming to you saying
they show you a picture. I'm like, bro, I can make that haircut happen, but I'll tell you what. The reason that guy looks so good is because he's a gorgeous man. I'm not saying you ain't.
It's the typical David Beckham thing, isn't it?
100%. There's a reason Beckham can pull off any fucking hairstyle because it's not the hair you're looking at.
Yeah.
But you just have to roll with it, don't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't lie. The reason that I love this job and this industry, it's not obviously I love cutting hair and I'm passionate about that, but it's the conversations. It's the people. I love building relationships with people and I share, and then that makes them share, and I think it's breaking down those barriers because in this day and age, especially like men's mental health, like you were talking about before, like the work ain't done yet. There's still a long way to go for kind of opening up those chats and making sure men and women, but especially men, talk about how they're feeling, especially when they're feeling low. Because I think, a mate of mine said the other day, like I spoke about topics that I would like want to talk about on a podcast, and I said about men's mental health, and that's been and gone, mate. I went, no, it fucking ain't. And he was like, well, it's not something I would tune into. I went, yeah, but seriously, it's because the job's not fucking done yet.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's a point where we're like, oh yeah, well we don't have to worry about men and their mental health anymore because it's all sorted. That won't ever happen.
No.
But it still needs to be a big topic of conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And being a barber is like, there's that joke. I've seen a few things going around. It's like, being a barber, you have to be multiple different things. And you see these AI videos of like, being a barber means you're this, that, the other. And most of it is like being a therapist, isn't it? You're chatting away and, someone will come to you and say, oh, this happened to me, you know, I'm going through a breakup, blah, blah, blah. You hear so much as a barber, don't you? Like, it's more than just cutting hair.
I've even had blokes tell me they don't even like their own children. And I'm not even joking. That was quite a while ago, but I was quite shocked by that. I mean, even this week I've had a bloke talk to me. I had no idea, and I know him really well, that he's going through a divorce now.
Yeah.
He was having to tell his daughter the next day. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
And I don't mind saying in front of you guys, like, I go to therapy, right, for my own shit.
Okay.
And I sometimes take on some of the tools that he uses on me.
Yeah.
I use it on my clients. Not like a deep way where I'm like trying to get information out of them.
No.
But just because sometimes people hit you with some stuff and you're like, Jesus, I just don't know how to respond to this without either coming across insensitive or just not right. You kind of want to be able to respond in a healthy way.
You don't want to say the wrong things.
100%, because it can be that can be really catastrophic to someone's not only their day but their fucking mood.
Yeah.
But I've also had it where people tell me shit that they shouldn't tell anyone, like whether they've cheated or I was going to say their fantasy. I don't know why I was getting to that, but you know, people are weird.
With that, sometimes it's not even necessarily what you have to say back. It's just about them getting it off their chest, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think you make that space for them to do that though. Like
do you find with... Sorry, go on.
No, you go, bro.
Do you find with your therapy, like, there's... Like, being a barber helps with that? Do you find, like, 100%. Talking to people all the time
100%
can help you massively?
Oh, there's some people that come in and, you know, we'll be having a conversation. Say if I'm having a bad day or not. And I try to always... Again, because I've had a lot go on in the past year, a lot of people come in and they know my story and they want to find out. I always remind myself to ask how they're doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, but a lot of people have known me for a long time and have seen the stuff online or whatever. But I always have to make sure that I turn the conversation, because there's nothing worse than talking to someone that's one-sided.
Yeah.
And we do get it with clients. At the end of the day, they're paying you for a haircut. Like, they are the most important person in the room.
Yeah.
But you know, there's been a couple of times I've had such a good conversation with someone. I'm like, I should be fucking paying you, let alone the other way around. Like, I feel like you've helped me today with something that I didn't even know I needed. But but I think something that, so I'm not trying to swerve the conversation, but I think even with like the barbering industry online and how it's seen now, is so many barbers think they're the absolute shit, and that's absolutely fine, but I don't think they've got the priorities in the right place.
Okay.
Like, I think there's celebrity barbers now. Like, I've done a few celebrities. It's all fun and games doing it. And don't get me wrong, if you become like a footballer's barber, then yip to do for you, yeah?
Yeah.
But that's not actually the real job.
No.
I don't think. And then you get some barbers that, like, say they do cut footballers' hair, they start acting like they're the fucking footballer.
They're the footballer, yeah.
It's like, well, don't forget, mate, that you still have to get your scissors out and cut someone's hair. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't know. Because the industry is so changed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to make the point to you of, obviously, you're very big on social media and you're a barber. And how do you find that social media has changed the game of barbering?
I think I think social media in general has given everyone a voice, which is absolutely great. But, you know, opinions and voices are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Doesn't mean everyone's arsehole's relevant. Do you know what I mean? And I mean that with like the most respect, because obviously, how can I put my stuff out there and not expect other people to in a respectful manner? But just because you want to put yourself out there doesn't mean everyone's got to fucking listen to it.
Yeah.
And I think in the respect of it changing the game, I think it's great because it's put people's names out there. It can help them advertise their businesses. It can help them to, you know, get more custom and hit the audience they want to hit. Like, but I still count myself as, even though, I've got a big following online, like, you know, across 2 platforms, I've got almost 2 million followers, right? Which is amazing. But I'm still your average everyday barber. And when I mean average, I don't mean I'm average at cutting hair. I mean, I cut the average everyday man.
Yeah.
And it, ain't the models and the footballers that pay my bills. It is the average Joes. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's what I'm proud. I'm proud of that. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it just keeps you rooted, doesn't it? It keeps you grounded. I think if you was...
No, you didn't. Sorry.
You scared me then.
I scared myself. I said it and I thought, I thought it was real.
But yeah, no, that's it, and it keeps you rooted. Like, if you're doing, your average geezers just cutting their hair, you don't. Like, I think if you was doing celebrities all the time, and don't get me wrong, it would be brilliant, but it probably makes you feel like you are a celebrity.
And I think it's really fucked up the game with. I tell you what, and don't I don't mean to insult you if you've done it, but when people put out there how much they made in a day as a barber,
Yeah.
and they're either talking absolute fucking shit, or
Well, I'll tell you what, I have done this, right? And I'll say why I've done this. This wasn't because me as well. I work for someone, my cousin.
Yeah.
So I'd done this video and it was like trying to advertise becoming a barber, the money you can make from it.
Right.
So like and sort of what I charge and blah blah. I can see what you're saying. Like,
Well,
and I don't really like. Yeah. I don't really like the thing of like showing off what you're making and blah blah. It was more for people to look at it and think.
Oh no, I think if you're doing it,
I was doing my genuine prices and like I didn't even do that many in a day. Like I think I'd done like it was on one of my first booking days. I'd done about 6 haircuts.
Right.
And so it's like it's not like life changing money.
No, of course.
And it was more one of them to say, you know, if you're looking to get into barbering, this is the kind of money you can be taking in a day.
Someone's got some money. I know what you mean, and I had a feeling that I might have seen a video you posted, but
I had a feeling you're like one of them knobheads.
I feel really weird that I can't see you now.
Yeah,
we should be in front of a mirror.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? We should get that. We should get that sorted.
It's a good point of view, actually. POV, love that, Paul. But I mean, with the sort of money thing, I more meant as in I've seen some young barbers do it, and I don't think they're being genuine.
No.
One about how many they've done, they've definitely filmed it over a couple of days, and they're making out
the same outfit.
Well, exactly, but they're making out like they've earned like 2,000 quid in a day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, one, that's not realistic. Two, you're giving a really bad impression. That's great, though, isn't it? You're giving a really bad impression to other young aspiring barbers.
Yeah,
and you're either making people feel like shit, they don't charge enough. But then again, I've met people in person. Like I went to such a hairdressing awards last year, and especially at those things, and a little bit in general, I get recognised quite a lot.
Yeah.
So people come up to me and they're like, "How much do you charge for a haircut?" I was like, "Oh, I'm still like £25 a cut." And they were like, "Oh, fuck off! You could charge so much more than that because of your status." And I was like, "That's not really how I do things." And he was like, "This guy, I won't name him. I can't even actually remember what his name is, but." He was like, "Oh, I don't let people leave the shop without spending at least £1 in the shop." It's like, you beat 100 quid. I was like, you must either be doing some mad upsell or your prices must be sky high to be charging that. But I think it all comes down to location as well, you know?
Oh, it does, yeah. Yeah, 100%. You see, obviously in central London and whatever, you can charge some mad prices. I remember one of the barbershops that was close to where I'd done my course. Just an average barbershop, nothing special, and they're charging like £50 a trim. And it's like, you just think it's just mad, just like location wise can.
But I think there's also another side of it where people love to say that they have an expensive haircut.
Yeah.
And they're usually the worst looking haircuts, but.
Yeah. It's like everything, everyone always likes a price tag on something.
Yeah. They just like to say, that they've spent money on something that isn't really. That isn't really relevant. I
have to push myself sometimes. If I'm like, if I've got like an old boy in the chair and I've given him a haircut and a beard trim, I struggle to charge him for the beard.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, God bless you, like you 85-year-old crumbly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to. You want to give back, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah, and I try to, like, you know, if it's someone, I'm not saying I give out free haircuts all the time, but do you know what, like, even like if it's like a long-term customer and it's their birthday, something they're not expecting it, I just like doing shit.
Yeah.
It's my time. I think I've got to that point where I can make that decision because I work for myself. If I work for someone else, I'd actually have to pay for their haircut rather than like just my time. But
yeah, it's a different thing, isn't it?
He touched me here. Here.
You so like with the game changing with barbering.
Yeah.
Where do you think, say in 10 years, like the barbers coming up now, where do you think it could be?
I think there's going to be a lot more mobile barbers.
Yeah.
People aren't going to be stuck to a shop necessarily. I think that's going to happen. Not necessarily the vans. I think the vans are great, actually. Like
I've seen that idea.
But I don't know how longevity that's got. But I think someone like travelling with it in their bag and just going around to people's houses or whatever, or having like a little home setup, I think it's going to become more popular.
Yeah.
Because I think people aren't as worried about like all their education and all that. I think as long as they're good on social and they do good haircuts, that's the only thing people care about. And I think it is going to come down to cost as well. Like they're going to be people that are going to be priced out of the market because they charge too much or whatever. But yeah, I think it's just sometimes I think we need to prioritise who is important in the process, and the fact we are still a service industry. Like I said it before, but the most important person in that shop is the client.
Yeah.
Because without them, there's no point.
Not earning money, yeah.
Exactly. Like we could all stand there with a dick in our hands, and it still doesn't mean we make any money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that part of the services?
It's the late night service stage, yeah. Yeah. Backsack and crack and a little lick.
Happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a major thing. You've got to be realistic with it, and it's the service that is keeping us going. Like, and the people that come in that is what keeps us going. It's not always your celebrity barbers and stuff like that. But
let me ask you a question though, because as off camera, I just asked you how old you are. I didn't actually realise you were as young as you are. I don't think you necessarily come across that young, but how have you found it? Fuck in the industry. Fuck, don't touch me. Being like that, being the age you are, and obviously you've got quite a lot of experience behind you already.
Yeah.
But how do you find it? I suppose the work with you. I'll let you answer the question in a second. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you find it at your age as a barber in the industry?
Do you know what? I've not found it I haven't really struggled with it too much, but there has been times where it does affect it. I think where I've worked in the same shop for so long. People have seen me as a junior originally from when I was 12 when I was a junior. When I first started.
Over the back of the chair at that point. So that was a genuine question as well.
Yeah.
A little stall or something.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's people have seen me grow into like becoming a barber. But I think like where I started the social media and it sort of kicked off and ended up making me busy. People kind of looked past it, but there was times where older fellas that was coming in to get their haircut would be like, "Oh no, he's a bit young, isn't he?" Like sort of thing, you know. I do get that. Yeah. Like I do get that. If you walk into a barbershop, you're a random, like you're just a normal geezer, aren't you? And there's a fella standing there that's maybe in his 30s, and there's a lad that's standing there who's like 17, 18. You're thinking, yeah, I want to dodge that.
Definitely. Oh, I completely get that. And also, I think there's sometimes overdoing it as well. Like,
yeah.
I remember once upon a time I worked with a lad who he was just doing a guest spot in the shop I was in. And he was like, I'm all about consultation, 100%. You've got to really know what your client wants. And that's something, actually, a big part of why I didn't really like getting my haircut as a kid, because I feel like I was never actually listened to.
Yeah.
But I think I've worked with people that kind of, they'll make such a song and dance about the consultation, like it's the first time that this person's ever had a haircut.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know, this is probably not their first rodeo. It's a 50-year-old bloke. He's been having his haircut every 3 weeks for the
He just wants a short
years.
back and sides, man.
Exactly. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
That's what sometimes does my nutting as well. It's like, yeah, let's not over-engineer it.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, yeah, there is new techniques. Like, for example, I typically give everyone a little bit of a subtle taper, unless they say they want it like straight, natural, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because I just think it looks nicer. They don't even realise that what you've done is different, but they know that their haircut kind of has a nicer finish. But we don't have to talk about actual haircuts, by the way. So
no,
I am getting that kind of territory of actually talking about barbering.
That's all right. As a Trimtalk podcast, we haven't really spoke about barbering at all, have we? Like across it, so yeah, it's probably we do share that interest.
Feel free to pivot if you want. I don't mind.
But yeah, nice. It's a good point. Like I think on social media, people do overcomplicate barbering. It's become like a trendy thing to do. In the last 20 years, like barbering was never like a cool job. In the last, I'd say 20 years, it has become a cool job. Do you find in your area that younger lads are saying to you, "I want to be a barber"?
Yeah, definitely. We are having stuff like that, and I don't know what it is that maybe appeals to them. Because for me, I can't lie, it was a little bit of like, yeah, okay, I like the thought of like chatting to people and all that. I also like the fact of like kind of getting to wear what I want. It wasn't exactly good. I know that it really isn't really a problem now, but if you had tattoos when I first started out, in some jobs that wasn't really a thing. Like they didn't want you to have tattoos as an accountant or whatever. But
yeah, of course.
I was never destined to be an accountant. But yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I don't know why it's changed, but I think even when it comes to like a little bit like we said online, when you see videos of people cutting, sometimes I think it makes you think like, oh God, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not very good, or whatever. But I think actually, as long as the outcome of what you put out is good, then that's all right. Like, I think, like for example, I feel like there's so much shame on anyone that uses fucking thinning scissors, for example. There's definitely a place for thinning scissors. But just don't fucking do the whole haircut with them. Again, I remember when I was at college, there was a couple of lads who they already cut hair, but they just needed the qualification, and they did a little bit of an exhibition haircut, and they were using so much of the thinning scissors that actually all the tutors came over to all the other students after and was like, everything they just said, and we were like, yeah, they were like, don't listen to that, because it was just a little bit bashing everything with the thinning scissors just to cover any mistakes. Basically. But do you know what I've realised now, for doing it for such a long time, that. I remember seeing it in a lot more experienced barbers when I was younger. I think the hardest thing to get right in barbering is just understanding when someone comes in your chair, you can very quickly analyse, okay, this is their hair type, this is their hairstyle, this is their length, this is their head shape, because something that suits me might not suit you. But then it's not an exact science. Do you know what I mean? I think that it comes with experience of like. Because I see things online where they're like, oh, if you have a diamond shaped head, then you need to have this haircut.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. Yeah.
There's so many different factors. Oh yeah. Also, have you seen this fucking smart clipper as well? You've seen this bullshit?
Is that the
clipper that can don't have to be professional and give you a fade? Apparently.
Yeah. I see something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that shit. I just don't. That or like a robot arm. I just think. A big part of why I went into
never going to get taken over.
That's not going to happen.
No, we're never going to get taken over by
if you're a data analyst or something, then your job's going to get taken over by an AI system. But barbering, I think the human element.
Well, I know I'd never let a computer or a robot cut my hair.
Also, you don't go necessarily. A lot of people don't go to the barbers for like best haircut they get.
No, there's that customer base.
True.
Yeah, there is that customer base that don't go for they don't go for a great haircut. It's more they're going to see their barber because they see him as a mate or
it's the relationship you build.
Yeah, 100%. But with the social media, what would be your advice to anyone going into social media maybe as a barber or just someone that is going into social media just doing what they want to do?
Well, I'd say consistency, as in posting as much as you can, which I need to take my own advice sometimes. Don't get me wrong. It is tough and you do have to be consistent. Sometimes, getting a lovely picture or getting a lovely video, but actually just getting something out there. Even to the lads that are like genuinely starting out, I think it's great just to post stuff because then you can look back and realise even 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, you'll realise how much you've progressed. And you'll think, God, I've got to take that down because that looks shit. No, that's part of who you were. It's a bit of your journey, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, I think like I'm not really someone. I don't do skits or anything like that, but just making like silly content. I think because that's what people also want to see now. But then again, like the average Joe that's say maybe like a 40-year-old bloke, he's not going to give a fuck that you do. But like funny skits online. No. But I think it depends on what audience you're trying to target.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's it. Like if you do want to go after the ages of 16 to 30, whatever, then you will hit that target audience.
Well, I think it's like social media is great for advertising your business and all that, but like, I've got a really big following. Doesn't mean that all my followers come for a haircut, does it?
No.
Or
how do you find the following of sort of friends barbering or just like in general for you, different opportunities for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like to I think recognition and understanding and obviously for me the main part of why I wanted to do what I do on social media is for advocating for Tourette's and just actually not only showing like young people and kids and adults with Tourette's but actually like their families and stuff that have to do with it as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that have got Tourette's, it's actually all like young kids that have got Tourette's, their parents, they have to deal with the brunt of it. And I just wanted to show them that actually like I'm a adult with Tourette's and I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
You know,
Being a bit of an inspiration.
trying to be. I hate saying that about myself.
No,
but
yeah,
that's
you try-
exactly it.
That's what you're going for, yeah.
I don't
Do
mind showing.
you ever get? I'm sure you do. Do you get people saying to you that they've been inspired by your content and what you're doing and stuff?
Yeah, I do it a lot, which is really and that really kind of spurs me on. I get like.
Yeah, I was going to say, how proud does that make you feel? Like, is that the reason you kind of started it?
Mad. It's also a bit of a weird pressure, but in a nice way. Like, you want to keep doing it and you want to keep getting better and better, but it's again, it wasn't something we were intending. Like, I wasn't trying to become famous, or I wasn't trying to become like I wasn't really worried about numbers. But it's weird, like we said earlier, you do kind of become a little bit conscious of it because you want
of course, you look at you're always going to look at it, especially like say you do a video and you're like you put a lot of time and effort into it, and then it's like, oh, it's done shit, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But actually, that's another thing as well, though. It's great to have like content that you do put a lot of work into, but actually sometimes it's the lo-fi stuff that doesn't.
Yeah, it is mad. Like even like today when we was on the way back from the train, we done that video with a lad we was with. What did it take? 30 seconds. Like, we don't know how it's going to get on, but if it was to then go and hit 1 million views, who knows? Like, whatever. Yeah, like it's like that is probably part of the consistency thing, and it's like you could do a video that takes you days, months to get it out and edit and film.
I'm a classic overthinker. Where I'll film something, I'm like, I had all the inspiration, the idea at the time, and I probably should have cracked on with it then, and just got it out. And I think it's so easy to sit on some content for a while and think, oh, I've got to do this, got to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think again, it is just putting yourself out there, and I think like even with the barber I've just taken on, like he's not even started working for me yet, but he's already got a couple of videos out, and he's like introduced himself on there, and I think that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
I think it's the way the world's going now as well. It's like building up social media presences.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know how the fuck people did it before. I remember like my tattoo artist, she was telling me, she goes, I have no idea how I would create a business without social media.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people feel like that now. But you would have either had a website, and prior to that, like I've still done leaflet drops. I've still done leaflet drops in like locally to when I've opened a shop. Because again, that's going to target a slightly different audience or client than just like the young lads. But I've got no qualms with like going outside if I'm having a bit of a quiet day and say going up to a kid and like giving him my card or even offering him a free haircut. Just because I just see it. Do you know what though? So we are going very much into barbering, but
that's all right.
I guess that's partly why I'm here. But that I think. Sorry, let's show. A lot of barbers don't prioritize or don't put much effort into kids, and that's something that I really truly believe in, because I've had some clients that I'm like,
you're right with a bit of product on your hair.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got a few clients that I've been cutting their hair for like 10 years. I started cutting their hair when they were 5, and now they're 15. I don't see them going anywhere because I've been cutting their hair for so long. But I invested my time and energy in that long term. Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people miss a trick with kids. They kind of maybe don't put the effort in. And I think I have a lot of kids come to me because I treat them with respect. I talk to them like an adult. You know, I actually try and get to know them. Not in a noncy way, that's all, obviously. But I try and get to like just treat them with some respect. And I don't think that often barbers do that. And I think they're really missing the trick.
Yeah, massively.
I remember how frustrating it was when I was younger. You go to the barbers and the barber, they talk to your parents instead, sort of.
Mate, I remember I used to go and get a haircut, and you know, like especially in a walk-in shop, and you're like, I know it's exactly what barber I want, but I have not got the bottle to say I'm waiting for someone else. And you go and get that fucking cunt you didn't want to have an haircut with. And you would say, I'm not cutting the top this time because I'm growing it out. And what would they do? They still lop half it off. Like, I weren't trying to get a half-price haircut by not cutting the top. Just wanted to grow it out a little bit. But like the top of my hair takes so long to grow. Yeah. That. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, you did want it all buzzed off today, didn't you?
Yeah, no problem. That's the way it's sort of going. I'm getting married later in the year, so I'm having to think about my wedding cut. Yeah.
Oh, congrats, mate. I'm sure I'll see you back now then.
Yeah, that's it.
For your wedding cut.
We've been together 14 years, mate. I don't think she'll be too worried about me here.
Right, well, that is you
she's
done.
She's with me for my dick. No, she's with me because I'm a dick.
That is you. That's your barnet.
I feel so much lighter, man.
Good.
Can't quite see it on that tiny screen.
Just zoom in.
I'm going to have to trust you.
That's all right. You can give it a look.
Perfect.
In a second. This podcast is filmed at the Padded Cell,
a place used for recovery with elite level equipment from hyperbaric chambers to red light therapy beds.
Upstairs there is a lounge for your workspace and relaxing.
Then we head into the podcast studio where we film all our episodes here.
The Padded Cell is a safe space for your wellness across your mind, body and soul.
If you want to check out the Padded Cell, check the link in our description below.
Cool, Josh has had his haircut. Happy?
Thank you, man. I'm really happy with it,
Good.
bro. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it properly yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
I think you're looking slick.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, back in the chairs, just have a little chat before we sign off. But there was something you want to ask me.
Well, I was just, because when we were talking then, and I didn't realise you'd started being a barber that young. So what made you want to be a barber at that age? Like that, what made, because a lot of kids say things, but actually doing it is.
Yeah. Do you know what, like what you were saying earlier with like people quit before they become good? When I was a junior, so I originally started just by sweeping floors, making the teas and coffees. That's what the term junior is for anyone that don't know.
Dosser.
Yeah. Little melt. The little melt everyone bullets.
The bitch boy that gets
Yeah.
up. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
it. You have
pretty
to get
much.
stripes. innit?
Yeah.
As long as you're not a mechanic, they're fucking, and naughty comes in there. They'll set you a light and that.
Yeah, I just started off by doing that. And then there was like loads of times where I was like, I just want to quit. Like I was a kid, so I was like, I want my Saturdays back. Like my pals are going out playing football and stuff. Like I want to go and do that. But I just stuck at it, and where it was like a family business, I was like, there's an opportunity. Like I did know that from quite young. I was like, there is an opportunity. I've just got to stick at it, and then did, and then obviously lockdown come at a great time,
Right.
because like my dad wasn't going out really, so it was like I can just play with cutting his hair.
Thank you. Fuck, you finished that sentence. You were stumbling a bit then. I was like, I'm gonna say cock in a minute. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I could just fuck his hair up.
Right. Yeah.
And get away with it. There was a time though when, because he's a fireman, right? So he was still going to work. And there was a time where I was cutting his hair, clippers died, and he had just like a mushroom haircut.
Oh, God bless him.
He has a skin fade.
Right.
He had it skin anyway. I'm going off
Like
topic
bit
there.
Peaky Blinders sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so it come at a great time. I was like practicing on my dad's hair all the time, and then took it into the shop, started doing friends, and obviously where I was quite young, my pals, like you both know, I was doing like 3-hour trims, like taking ages, and but because I was young, it was more acceptable because they knew they was walking into
I bet
that.
you were constantly second guessing yourself what you were doing was right or whatever you're faffing about.
Yeah. And obviously it was free haircuts, and it's like I suppose when you're a bit older, you do a course, whatever, you're not the finished product yet, and it's like, but you get thrown in the deep end because you might get thrown into a shop where you've got to be cutting the customers, and it's like you might fuck up and they're not happy about it. Whereas my pals knew that they was coming to someone who was learning, so I started doing their. Then by the time I was like year 11, leaving school, I already had a bit of a customer base, and I was charging like 10 a trim, and I was doing like, say I'd done 10 a week, and then I was doing a few days in the shop as a junior as well, like 10 haircuts a week, and then a few days working. I think I got £50 for working for like two nights after school and then a Saturday, and then I'd do like 10 trims on other days, and I was getting like £150 a week from. I was like 15, and I was rolling. Yeah, I was like, I'm rolling in it, but like. That's
Nando's, isn't it?
That's when I started doing them videos. So that's how much I've earned this.
Right.
No, I'm joking.
I can imagine at that age though, because that is a bit of a motivation, isn't it? That you would want to, like, money is the motivator, right? But
yeah.
No, but that's such a cool kind of way to hear it, because I've had such a different path to being a barber. But I think there is lads that kind of go that route where they start really young and almost do an apprenticeship. That's what it sounds like to me.
I've almost done an apprenticeship without having to do that. Yeah.
No, I don't think a lot of barbers will actually offer that anymore. But I think it's a really good way of doing it. But I mean, I wouldn't take on someone who's never like cut hair before.
No.
They'd have to go and train to do a course first. Then I can, because I think it's a bit. I always say it's like learning to drive. Like, you get taught to be a learner. They want you to pass as a learner, but then all of a sudden you're thrown out on your own, and you have to be a fucking established driver.
Yeah.
But then it's a bit like with barbering as well. But I think you've just got to, and I also think as well, as a junior as well, the customer's got to appreciate that you're not as experienced.
Yeah.
So they can't be giving you a hard time Obviously, if you fuck their hair up, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But they've got to be a little more accepting of you taking the time, like you said, with friends. But even someone, an actual customer coming in the shop, knowing it's a junior, they should give you a little bit more time. I
Bit of
think.
leeway, yeah.
A bit of leeway, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, fuck, it wasn't. I mean, even a couple of years ago, I remember accidentally I fucking a bit of clipper over comb, and the fucking clipper's gone under the comb and just tapped the.
Yeah, we've
I
all
remember
done
like, oh god, you know when you're like, I've noticed it, I'm sweating already. I've got really hot now. Like, I'm gonna have to tell him. And I think honesty is the best policy
it. Yeah.
with any situation. I could have probably I could have done something to kind of cover it up. But thought, no, I'm gonna tell him straight. And
Bit of wax, bit of hair off
yeah,
the
that's
floor.
it. No, I'll start getting the fibres out. Just until he washes it, he won't even notice it. But no, I'm joking. But I told him straight away. I was like, mate, can't lie. I've had a little bit of a mess up here. It's not going to be that bad. You won't notice it in 2 days. And I told him, and I was like, mate, I'm going to give you the haircut for free. And he was like, well, no, let me see it. And I showed him. He was like, oh, fuck off. He goes, can't believe you told me. I was like, well, there is a line in your hair. Like, this is quite considerable. Like, I am ashamed of what I've just done.
Yeah.
But he was we almost got an argument about the fact that I don't think you should pay. He thought he should pay. So.
Did he pay?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He did?
Full whack and all.
Oh, right.
I actually knocked it off his next haircut because I was like, I'm so glad that you were good about it. But
yeah.
But I think that's also another thing. People, you need to sometimes give a goodwill gesture, or like I said before, like birthday things. I'm not saying every time someone has a birthday you should do it, but I just think it's nice to be able to give to someone sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if they're a long time client and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The ones that look out for you.
You've got to give back because people appreciate it, and you keep customers that way, and you will gain customers that way as well. Because if you do it, it's the same for any business really. Like if you give someone a good service, or you do something nice.
Especially for say someone like your old man who's a fireman, right? I think any like coppers and all that, I do try and sort people out like that as well a little bit. Not like I don't give a blues discount, but if I know them, I'd like to try and help anyone that's in the services as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good thing,
NHS and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Does that come from like when you?
Like Dan, your dad's pole. I'm sure he's a lovely man. It's yes. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
I feel like I was sitting on that one.
On the pole? On the pole?
On your dad.
Yeah, but like doing the NHS, like if it worked for the NHS, whatever, and sorting them out. Is that from when you was in hospital?
A little bit as well. I think just the respect thing.
Yeah, 'cause you do see how hard they work.
100%.
Like,
and I think actually the way they get treated as well. Like for example, like talking about like NHS staff in hospital, because I was obviously in a men's ward, and whole manner of people with issues. And whether it was like the guy next to me, I became quite close with. He was in like a really bad car accident, broken legs, broken back, all this other shit. Same matey boy over there. But then there was some people that obviously had like severe mental health issues, or whether it was like dementia at an older age. And I didn't realise actually some of the nurses had to then. Every couple of hours, they had to change patients because they were getting so badly abused. But obviously, people couldn't help it. Say if it's like you got really severe Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah.
But you don't realise what they're being put under.
Yeah.
And obviously, but then you're obviously dealing with patients that could be at the worst point in their life.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you see the good and the bad. But like for me, I had to be washed by someone else, which I think is a wild thing to experience. But
yeah,
and I had someone who obviously wasn't very experienced. I had a bloke who, I don't know if he was a bit younger than me or not, but I remember him saying to me, I went, mate, okay, gave me some sachets, and he kind of wheeled me into there. I was like, mate, I am going to need help to like get in there. Like, I don't know if you noticed, this is a wheelchair, not a fucking chair. And he was like, oh, okay, no problem. And I was like, okay, you've got the shampoo and the conditioner, or shower gel? Shower gel was the main thing I wanted. And he was like, there's just shampoo, is that all right? I went, no, not really, sweetheart. This is my first shower in like 2 days. I'm going to need some shower gel. I went, oh, I can't find any. I went, whatever his fucking name was, Nurse Jack. I was like, get me some shower gel, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Just come back with some shower gel, then I'll be happy. But I think also again, that's kind of going a little bit back to when I was saying about the junior thing. It kind of made me think about shit like that, because I was like, well, if he is inexperienced, then I've got to give him a little bit of slack because he just doesn't know. But I am in a very vulnerable position right now.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, my cock out in front of a bloke who I don't know, and he's got to wash me. I could use my own hands, but there was some areas I couldn't get. I'm saying far too much. But anyway, no, it's just, I think it doesn't matter what walk of life or even what industry or think job you talk about. I just think there's a little bit of understanding for experience is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It is funny with the juniors, isn't it? Like, do you have a junior on a Saturday or whatever?
No, so we've taken on people that are straight out of college. Like the latest one was my cousin, who his mum actually was a barber, and she was the first person to ever cut my hair when I was a kid.
Right.
So kind of gone full circle now, which is funny. But No, I don't mind having like a Saturday boy come in and all that. That's all fine. But sometimes I feel like people they do get in the way at times as well. But if they're really keen on barbering, I'm more than happy for someone to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think
Because like at our shop, like the juniors take some stick, don't they? Like
do they?
yeah, like proper.
But are
But
they
like
actually going
they
to become barbers? Do you think, or are they just doing that
most
Saturday
of
job?
no, yeah, most of them
Right.
do. Everyone we've had has wanted to do it. Whether they've
Right.
gone on to do it or not is a different sort of
Right.
story. But yeah, they do take some grillions. But like some of them are really good because they'll
Yeah.
give it back.
Yeah.
Like we've
That's what
got
you
one
want.
junior at the minute, Alex. He actually really wants to come on the podcast. He's always telling me jokes and stuff. He'll be pleased. I've shouted him out.
Oh,
But like
Alex.
yeah, but he gives it like, and
Right.
he'll cane anyone. It's
Yeah.
just like it's hilarious.
I think there's because I don't know about you, but like I love the banter in the shop, but I like to kind of keep it relatively tame because it can easily go. The air can turn blue so quick. Where like then you start like some of the barbers they start bringing up like
Start
month
crying.
into it. And that,
Yeah.
and it's like right lads, this was literally over like lunch. You were talking about who has what for lunch and that, and then it's turned into like
Yeah.
fuck you, and it's like they don't really get like that. But
No.
I like to keep it as professional as I can because I do know if you're in a really, really laddie environment and you've got like a mum there with their kid or
Yeah.
an older bloke.
You've got to know when to.
It's the same with music as well. Like I'm not going to have fucking
Yeah.
choir music on in the background as a 56-year-old sitting there waiting for his to fall back inside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to know the room a little bit.
100%. Yeah.
But then, but I think as barbers we are comedians.
Yeah.
I don't talk. I wouldn't talk the same I would to you as a 19-year-old as I would to like a 79-year-old.
No.
But I don't change who I am. I just maybe would like
Accommodate.
It's a bit like one of my barbers picked up. He went, "Have you noticed that when you have a geezer come in, you think you're more of a geezer?" I was like, "Oh, fuck off! I don't do that." He went, "Josh, you completely change." I went, "Completely."
What do you mean, as in a geezer?
Oh,
Just a normal fella, or like?
I've got a geezer, Terry the geezer, we call him.
Right. So like he's a geezer.
Double hard.
Right. Okay.
He's double hard. I don't know what he's done, but he's done some shit. And I just know. And he comes in and I'm like, "Hello, tell you right, son." And he was like, "Hello, Josh, you right, sweetheart?" And then, but I do sometimes talk a bit more like that anyway. But then I just realised I'm like, why do I think I'm one of the Cray twins now? Like I start like kind of like, oh yeah, you got in trouble there. And all.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing
That
it.
twang starts to come out.
He ain't come because he thinks I'm like him. He's just come because he likes the show. But you do it.
Do you do that with other nations as well?
No, you do though. I noticed it. My dad when he was younger. We were raised to like speak quite well, right? Especially like my mum, like a bit of the Queen's English and all that. But then as soon as my dad would go out with his friends, all the in it and the H's were dropped and all that. But I went to a shithole school, so I was never going to talk well. But I can turn it on though if I need to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, it is good. And to be fair, it's like it keeps it fun, doesn't it? If you're you're having a laugh with Terry the geezer.
Yeah. Oh, I like it when people come in a bit later and you get the beers going as well. That's quite.
Yeah.
we
you do that? Do you
Yeah, we
give out
have a
beers?
fridge full of stuff that we just like.
Yeah,
like
'cause-
complimentary drinks.
Do you know what? We started doing that at one point on a Thursday. We used to do it on a Thursday night, and then we had people.
Thursdays.
Yeah, we had people coming in, and they'd just bring a mate, and he weren't getting an haircut, and then he'd want a beer, and it's like we was getting to the point where he was like, "No, I can't really do this." Like they was using it as pre-drinks coming to the
Right,
bars.
yeah, cool. I mean, what I like the thinking.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like fair play. You
they're
fucking
on it.
missed
Yeah.
But at the same time, no, it's a bit like we actually had it before. We've had like full blown alcoholics. So like,
Yeah.
mind if I have another one? I'm like, Stephen, that's your fucking third one already. Do you
You ain't even getting your haircut
yeah,
yet.
no, that's it. You haven't paid me for the haircut. No, I don't mind. I think you've got to take it. Like, yeah, it's not ideal when someone does like say bring in a mate and they have a drink. But then if you think about all the times that you've offered a beer and someone hasn't taken it, I think fuck it, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
No, like don't get me wrong. If someone had come in and like they was with
yeah,
a
it's
pal,
not
like
even tight.
no,
Yeah.
it was just like people were doing it like consistently and on purpose. Like they was like, "Oh, should we go barbs get a beer?"
You cutting one guy's hair and you've ended up giving about six bottles of beer away.
Yeah, become a bar with it as well.
I think it's all part of it. I think I'm a big believer in you got to spend money to make money as well.
Yeah,
With stuff like that.
you get back what you give, isn't it? So,
100%.
but I think that's a good point to wrap up from there. You enjoyed it today, Josh?
It's been lovely, mate. I'm really happy with the haircut. I mean, it's nice to meet all you lads as well.
Yeah,
I think
I've really enjoyed it.
man.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Nice.
That's one way to end. Thanks, mate.